Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the NBA DFS Core Pick video for today, Wednesday, March 6th. If you join me for the very first time, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over the injuries in play for tonight's slate. There will be no recap. Unfortunately, yesterday when I was trying to record, a lot of the audio cut out when I was trying to edit it, so there would have been a lot to go kind of back and patch together and try to make it sound all right. So just kind of had to throw that video out. Unfortunately, didn't have enough time to record another one, so I do apologize for that, but hopefully the audio recording for this is much better today, so we won't have that same issue once again today. But like I said, we'll be going over the injuries in play for today. Then after that, we'll get over to both FanDuel and DraftKings and talk about my core picks for today. So it's going to be one player at each position, some point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. But without further ado, we'll get into those injuries in play for tonight's slate overall. I believe it's an 8-game main slate. We got like 5 teams on the back-to-back, so we'll see what their injury reports look like as the day move along. We're going to start off with the Orlando Magic, who are one of those teams on the back-to-back. So once again, we'll see what their injury report looks like as the day moves along. And then for the Washington Wizards, Marvin Bagley is out for them tonight. We could see a little bit of value spot here, maybe if Rashawn Holmes does ultimately end up getting the start at center, which may or may not be the case. They might just go small with Kyle Kuzma there. And then, whether they end up starting at Johnny Davis, whether it's Jordan Poole, whoever they end up starting there, Landry Shamet in that starting lineup, kind of move everybody down. There's a lot of different ways that they could go about it for tonight's slate overall. Moving over to the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're also on the back-to-back. We know Tristan Thompson is going to be out because he's suspended. Evan Mobley did get hurt last night. He was on crutches with an ankle injury, so safe to assume he's not playing anytime soon. And then some of these other guys probably going to be out once again tonight, but we'll just have to see what that looks like as the day moves along, though. And then on the Atlanta Hawks side, they're also on the back-to-back, so we'll just have to see what that looks like as the day moves along as well. So a lot of back-to-back teams early on tonight's slate. And then we move over to the Clippers, who just have Russell Westbrook out at this point in time. And then on the opposite side, the Houston Rockets are on the back-to-back, so they're another team that will be looking out for that injury report as the day moves along. Probably don't really expect that to change too much for them today overall. Tari Eason's still going to be out as he is out for the rest of the season. And then we move down to the Memphis Grizzlies, who are without Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark, Scottie Pippen Jr., Derrick Rose, Marcus Smart, Yuta Watanabe, and Zaire Williams. So pretty similar to the guys that they were missing in their most recent game. Jaren Jackson Jr. is upgraded to questionable. We'll see whether or not he's able to go. He's been dealing with a little bit of a quad injury as of late. Obviously, if he plays, he could be a high upside player for them if he doesn't have a minutes limit. But, at the same time, if he's unable to go, if he has a minutes limit, probably not going to be somebody that we're chasing after today, just in general. And then for the Philadelphia 76ers, they're another team that is on the back-to-back today. We did see Tyrese Maxey miss last night's game because he is in concussion protocol now. I don't want to talk too much about this, but I kind of have to get it off my chest. I believe it was 2 games ago. He left with the head injury, came back into the game, played the rest of the game, and supposedly was fine. Played the next game, supposedly was fine, and now in concussion protocol. How you allow that to happen from an NBA perspective is kind of beyond me, but that is my little rant for the day. And then we move over to the Chicago Bulls. We got Torrey Craig listed as doubtful with his knee injury, so no real changes for them whatsoever. And then on the Utah Jazz side, we got Taylor Hendricks, Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen, and Otto Porter Jr. all out for tonight's game. Keontae George listed as questionable. He has been dealing with an illness. He did try to play their most recent game, only was able to play 6 minutes in that game. So we'll see ultimately whether or not he's good to go tonight or not. Could open up quite a bit of value for this Utah Jazz team overall, especially, with Hendricks missing now. And then also him. Somebody's going to have to start in this spot. We saw Lucas Hamanic get the start in place of Lauri Markkanen last time out. So could be a little bit of value on this Utah Jazz team overall. Then we move down to the Milwaukee Bucks. We have Chris Middleton listed as out once again. Giannis listed as questionable. He did miss their most recent game with some Achilles soreness, so we'll see whether or not he is able to go tonight or not. If he's unable to go, obviously Damian Lillard is going to look a lot better, be a core pick in that situation, and then Bobby Portis gets a bump up once again as well. And then we got Jay Crowder and Marshawn Beauchamp, both listed as probable to play for tonight's game as well. On the opposite side with the Golden State Warriors, they appear to be all the way healthy at this point in time. Then moving over to the Oklahoma City Thunder, just Jalen Williams, the backup center, out for tonight's game once again. And then for the Portland Trailblazers, they are without Malcolm Brogdon, Scoot Henderson, and Shaden Sharp once again. And then we have DeAndre Ayton listed as doubtful to play with his hand injury once again tonight. And then we have 3 guys listed as questionable with Toumani Camara, who was dealing with an illness, missed their most recent game. Jeremy Grant, I think it's a quad injury for him. He did miss their most recent game as well. And then Matisse Thybulle, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head what his injury was, but he did miss their most recent game as well. So just kind of depending on how all this news shakes out for the day overall, we could be looking at a little bit of value for this Pacers team just in general. But kind of the bad part there is they are one of the latest games on the slate, so we might not know that news too soon. But, there is 3 games in those late time slots, so there is a lot of ability to swap for those later games just in general. For the Sacramento Kings, Shashavchenko is out once again. They did get De'Aaron Fox back, I believe, in their most recent game. And then for the Los Angeles Lakers, we have Castleton, Vanderbilt, Vincent, and Wood Allis is out once again. LeBron James questionable as per usual with that ankle injury. And then Anthony Davis, Cam Reddish, both listed as probable to play as kind of per usual for their last couple games. Would expect that all three of those guys do ultimately end up playing for tonight's game overall. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's games overall. As always, if there's any updates that do come out throughout the day, I will list them down in the comments below, as well as the starting lineups as they do get announced throughout the night. So definitely be sure that you are checking back in as we do get closer to lock so that you do have all that information. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks for tonight's slate overall. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Luke Kennard for the Memphis Grizzlies, $5,000, looking for at least 25 out of him, averaging about 21 so far in the season, coming off a really strong performance. Pretty solid matchup tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers. We'll see whether or not Tyrese Maxey plays on the opposite side of this game, but if he doesn't, you're looking at Campaign, you're looking at Kyle Lowry as kind of the opposing players. Should be a matchup that does favor Luke Kennard just in general. And, if Jaren Jackson's not out there once again, he's going to get his shot kind of whenever he wants it once again like he did in their most recent game. And then with that being said, Luke Kennard right now at this point in time, I have him currently projected for 27 points, has some upside for more, has some downside for less. Could make for a pretty interesting play on tonight's slate overall. We'll see what other value does end up popping up throughout the day. So maybe he's a guy that changes, but at this point in time, looks like a pretty safe value overall. Then at shooting guard, we're going to go Jordan Clarkson, $6,800. Obviously, you can look at Colin Sexton in this spot as well, but Jordan Clarkson really carried this Utah Jazz team in their most recent game. Even though he's still coming off the bench, there is the opportunity that maybe he starts tonight, although they probably just want to play him off the bench because that's kind of what they do with Jordan Clarkson. But $6,800, looking for 34 out of him. He's averaging 30.5 so far in the season. A really advantageous matchup against the Chicago Bulls, who do give up three-pointers in bunches just in general. So do like Jordan Clarkson in his upside potential tonight. Currently, I'm projected for 36. Definitely has a ton of upside for more. Maybe a little bit downside for less if he's going out there and not shooting the ball the greatest. But if the Utah Jazz kind of want to stay in this game, kind of want to win this game, he's probably going to be a big reason why once again tonight. Then at small forward, we're going to go with Franz Wagner, $7,400, looking for 37 out of him, averaging 36 so far in the season. Goes against the Washington Wizards. It's a pace-up spot just in general. He has dominated versus the Wizards this season, so kind of would expect the same trend to continue once again tonight. Currently I'm projected for about 39, 40 points. Has a little bit upside for more, as we've seen versus this Washington team so far this year. If we get that type of upside, he's going to be a guy that you do need in your lineup once again tonight. And then at power forward, we're going to go with Andrew Wiggins here, $5,200, looking for 26 out of him. He's averaging 23 on the season. A little bit of a pace-up spot for some Milwaukee Bucks. I think they're playing a little bit slower since they got Doc Rivers as head coach now, but at the same time, it's going to be a pretty back-and-forth game between the Milwaukee Bucks and Golden State Warriors, I would assume. Maybe if Giannis is out, maybe that's not the case, but do like Wiggins once again. He's been really solid for this price tag, a guy that's going to get you about 27, 28 points more nights than not, so definitely do like him once again. You're looking for that 26 out of him at $5,200. Currently, I'm projected for 28, so it looks like a solid, safe play that you can play at both forward spots today overall. And then last but not least, we're going to go with center with Alfred Sengun, $8,000 going against Los Angeles Clippers tonight. He's averaging 43 fantasy points on the season. Looking for 40 out of him. Been playing really well as of late. 3 out of his last 4 games, he's outperformed this price tag. He is coming off his career high in points last night, so probably going to be a little bit popular today, but I think it's warranted for sure. Obviously, he's not going to probably give you that performance that he had last night, but at the same time, he's played really well this season, and I would kind of expect that trend to continue once again tonight. Currently, I have him projected for about 44, 45 fantasy points on the DraftKings side overall. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do currently have listed, you have $17,600 remaining, just under $5,900 per player. So a little bit of room and flexibility to be had there. Obviously, a lot's going to depend on what values do pop up throughout the day. That is going to open up some value. And then obviously give us the potential to pay up for a couple star players. Although, the star players aren't as highly priced on today's slate overall. So it should make for a pretty interesting slate just in general. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So I'm just going to start off by saying this. The core picks on both sites are the exact same 5 guys for me today. Obviously, the order is going to be just a little bit different because of the positionalities between the 2 different sites. So at point guard, we got Jordan Clarkson. He is $6,800. You're looking for 34 out of him. Good matchup tonight versus the Chicago Bulls. Obviously, the Utah Jazz are missing a ton of pieces, so Jordan Clarkson is going to be a big reason why, if they're staying competitive in this game or even winning this game, coming off a really, really strong performance. And, once again, $6,800, you're looking for 34 out of him. Currently, I'm projected for 36 on the FanDuel side. Has some upside for more. Has a little bit of downside for less if that shot's not going down. But, against the Chicago Bulls should be a team that he can make a ton of threes versus just in general. And then at shooting guard, we're going to go Luke Kennard. He's $5,200 on the FanDuel side. So you're looking for 26 out of him. Currently, I'm projected for about 27 on FanDuel tonight. A really good matchup versus the Philadelphia 76ers. If Jaren Jackson doesn't play tonight, it's going to look even better because there's just going to be more shots and more usage to go around in general. So that should really benefit a guy like Luke Kennard. And then obviously playing a little bit of that de facto point guard, he's going to get a couple extra assists here and there. A guy that can do a little bit of things. Obviously, he's a great three-point shooter, so if that shot's going down, he's going to have some pretty strong upside. But at the same time, if the shot's not going down, if he's not getting those assist opportunities that he should be getting at this point in time, there is a little bit of downside to be had with him at the same time as well. Then we're going to move down to small forward. We got Andrew Wiggins here, $4,900, looking for 24, 25 fantasy points at him. Like I mentioned on the DraftKings side, he's just been playing really well as of late. More times than not, you're getting, 27, 28 fantasy points at him. Good spot for some Milwaukee Bucks tonight. It's a little bit of a pace-up spot, like I said, on DraftKings as well. Bucks playing a little bit slower since Doc Rivers has been taking over as head coach, but at the same time, it should be a pretty back-and-forth, high-paced game for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Golden State Warriors tonight. Obviously, there is a little bit of risk that maybe Giannis doesn't play tonight, and maybe that makes it a little bit more one-sided where the Golden State Warriors take advantage. But at the same time, if they're taking advantage, Andrew Wiggins could be a big part of that as well. And then once again, with that being said, $4,900, you're looking for 24, 25 out. Currently, I'm projected for 27, 28 on the FanDuel side tonight overall. Then at power forward, we got Franz Wagner, $7,500, looking for 37, 38 fantasy points out of him. Once again, versus the Washington Wizards, a pace-up spot for him just in general, a team that he has dominated in a pretty big way this season so far. And the Wizards have really struggled against that small forward position, which is where Franz Wagner plays, although we're playing him at power forward on FanDuel. But that's a story for a different day. Franz Wagner is a guy that has a ton of talent. He has a ton of upside in this matchup. So currently I'm projected for 39.40 on the FanDuel side as well. Definitely do like that upside. And if he does anything like he did earlier this season versus Washington, it's going to be a really good game for him overall. Then last but not least, at that center position, we're going to Alfred Sengun once again, $8,400. Looking for 42 out of him. He's averaging just under 43 on the season so far. Don't mind the matchup versus the Clippers. Obviously, there is a little bit of threat that this game could go small. Maybe that affects Sengun. But, if he's out there, if he's playing well, he's going to stay on the court, and he's going to make the Clippers react to him, essentially, at the end of the day. So I do like the upside that he does present. Obviously, coming off the 45 real-life point game last night, I don't expect that once again tonight. But the fact that he's played well in 3 out of his last 4 games, outperforming his price tag, gives us a lot of hope and, a lot of optimism for him just in general. And with that being said, I currently have him projected for 44 FanDuel points tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you have $27,200 remaining, $6,800 per player. So maybe looking a little bit more like a balance build type of day. It's a little bit more expensive over on the FanDuel side than it is over on DraftKings. So I think some of the star players are a little bit higher priced here. So maybe you want to pay up for some of them, pay down for some of those other value options that do open up throughout the day. Or if you want to take a little bit more balanced approach, that's definitely fine on tonight's slate as well. But with that being said, these are my core picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, March 6th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS whatsoever, be sure to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. I do ask that you please note whether those questions are more FanDuel or DraftKings specific, just so I can best help you as quickly and efficiently as possible. And then, as always, I'll be listing all the injury updates as they do come out throughout the day down in the comments below, as well as the starting lineups as they do get announced throughout the night. And then last but not least, my updated core will be out about 15 to 20 minutes prior to lock, probably a little bit closer to a half hour prior to lock today, just because running over to my business around 6 o'clock. So time gets a little bit stretched out there, but I will have that out, probably around 5:30 tonight, just in general. That'll be left as a pinned comment. If there's any other additional changes to that updated core after that point in time, I will leave them as a reply to that pinned comment, just in general. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we just got NBA DFS going on in terms of the core picks Monday through Friday. Obviously, when we don't have any other sickness issues, when we don't have any other technical issues, so I do apologize for some of that stuff that's happened as of late. Hopefully, you guys haven't missed out too bad. I did try to throw, an initial and an updated core yesterday. Unfortunately, there was a lot of injuries in that core. So I do apologize for anybody that kind of played that too as well. Obviously, we can't predict injuries at the end of the day. But then also with that being said, at the end of the month, I'll be doing some MLB DFS. I'll be doing some UFL DFS. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely be sure to check that out. If it's something you haven't tried before and you want to learn a little bit more about it, definitely be sure to check that out as well. Would be more than welcome to have you support that as well. And then obviously, if you have any questions related to either one of those, feel free to drop them in the comments of those videos and be more than willing to help you, whether it is, some basic questions, whether it's some more advanced questions, whether it's some general advice. I'm very interested in kind of that as the season starts off and kind of helping you guys out in general. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for Prize Picks, Parlay Play, and BetUS. If you are a brand new user to any one of those three sites, when you sign up, you make your first deposit, your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100 on your initial deposit. For BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,500 on your initial deposit. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comments or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in NBA DFS tonight.